Hello, and welcome to Wednesday's Child, a podcast all about no fluff conversations, all centered around equity, diversity, and representation, all within the world of brand storytelling. I am here with a very, very special guest today, Adan Romero. Give it up for Adan.
Oh,
Adan, say hello.
hi, hello, hi everyone. Thank you for having me. I'm very
Yeah,
honored to be here.
I am thrilled to have you here. This was a long time coming for us to be able to record this podcast together on a second year epic week of Blackweek.
Yes. Year number two. Really grateful for the support we're getting from everybody, from the community. This year we did really, we doubled up on our sponsorships this year. About 1,600 people came through those hallways,
That's
and
amazing.
we're extending our footprint, and it's all because of the community.
All because of the community. You and I have a long history of working in community. That's actually how we met. So we were part of a program. And ever since we met, I knew there was something special just about how you talked about representing your community and your culture and being authentic. And that's always stuck with me. So I'm really, really excited and proud to see you do your thing on stage out there in the world.
Well,
It's really
I'm proud to
inspiring.
see you do your thing. Look at you.
We do things.
We do things, and then when we met, like everything, we were at that event, and it was
Yeah,
all about and it was about community, but it was also we got to see each other, talk to each other, and what we were there for. The purpose of it was beautiful, but
that's
then
right.
what we learned about each other made it even more beautiful because I was inspired by you, and I'm still inspired by you.
Ugh, thank you so much. I appreciate you learning a bit more about myself there. It just kind of landed me to where I am now with Wednesday's Child and really trying to highlight and showcase people who are doing, again, amazing things, but doing it from a place of true authenticity and true meaning making. So I appreciate you.
Well, we have to, because when you think about it, our audience is us,
Yeah, that's right.
and we see through it. We
That's
see
right.
right through it. So if you're not coming off authentic, if you're not coming off and you don't really mean it, and you're a visitor,
Mhm.
we're gonna see that. So you have to be. And I've been doing this for a long time,
Yeah,
and everywhere I've worked, I've been sort of a voice for our community,
that's right.
and it's just because I've always felt that I made it to a position where I can be a voice, and
Hmm.
I have the authority to be a voice.
That's right.
So when others don't, then I've always felt that responsibility that I had to step up.
Well, before we get into you and all things Black Week, one of the things I love to do with my guests is talk about their big three. It is very pivotal and crucial to everything we talk about on Wednesday's Child. So, do you want me to tell the audience what your big three is, or do you want
Yes,
to? Okay.
I want you to tell it, because I think that the way you'll deliver it is a lot. I'm going to deliver it very nonchalantly, so I think the way you deliver it is going to be better.
I love that. Okay.
Yeah,
So,
I did have to look it up.
it's okay. It's good. We love when people have to look it up because I think it forces you to take another look at yourself and realize who you are. So, Adon's big three: Sun in Aries, Moon in Gemini. Shout out Gemini. We love us. And then rising in Taurus. And so that combination is pretty epic. The fire sign, the energy, the no fear, the think before or the act before thinking of Aries is really stand out, and I can see it in you. I've seen you get a little bit fiery behind the scenes
Yeah,
working on some projects,
yeah. I tend to take the work very seriously,
as
and
you should.
again, that's all part of being authentic to yourself. But there, I'm not gonna say I'm fearless. I'm saying there is fear, but
Mhm.
fear drives me in a different way. You
Talk
know,
to us about that. What does that mean for you?
for me, when something does when there is fear and I feel that fear,
Yeah.
it tends to push me forward to jump into it.
Okay.
I'm always one that says, what's the worst that could happen?
I love that.
Because I believe that no matter what it is, there's always a solution. There's always a way back. There's always something. There's always a shift that you can make. But when fear paralyzes you, you're robbing yourself of opportunity.
I mean, that is a word for the listeners. When fear paralyzes you, you're robbing yourself of an opportunity. And I actually want us to segue into how you didn't let fear rob you of the opportunity of Black Week. So let's talk about how Black Week came to be.
Hey, we were in. So we were in Jamaica celebrating Joe Anthony's
Shout out to
birthday.
Jamaica.
Yeah, it's beautiful, beautiful. And we were out there and it was beautiful because it was about 40 people
Okay.
and all of it, it was, it was just 40 people of color and
Beautiful.
everybody was someone that was very high in their position,
Yeah.
someone, movers, shakers, captains of industry, if you will.
Come
So
on.
every conversation that you had was beautiful and every
Yeah.
conversation you had was something that you can build with. There was no small talk.
Okay.
Everybody took but we were having a good time. So we weren't there, we weren't there as a retreat,
Yeah.
but it definitely felt like it because when you see so many people of color so powerful and those conversations that
Yeah.
move you, and we really we valued that. So we asked ourselves, why can't we have something like this? Why can't we
Mhm.
create something where we can see ourselves and we can have these conversations and have that support?
Yeah.
We left Jamaica and about 2 months later, Joe Anthony calls us up, says, "What you doing on Saturday? We're shooting for this. We're shooting a campaign for Blackweek. We're launching."
What?
So he's another one. He's not driven. He's driven by making and
Yeah.
creating. So and all of us were like, "All right, let's just go. Let's do it." But you have 7 individuals that
Yeah.
are all that are all masters of their track, and 7 individuals that are accustomed to being the last word on everything. So
I know it's got to be a mess, a little bit of a mess.
it's messy. We got to wrangle us. You there's a lot of again, it's every individual who's got that last word,
Yeah.
but not with us. With us, it's we have to work together to get to where we want to get to because there's a bigger reason for us to be here.
That I absolutely love because big ideas, big energy, big people in the room with lots to say, but not taking offense and allowing yourself necessarily to play it small, but to understand that there's a greater mission and purpose that brought y'all together.
Yeah.
So to take down in that instance is really powerful. And I think it's sometimes what we need to think about as human beings is how do we actually make room for others so that we can achieve a bigger goal.
I think that the 7 of us take it very seriously.
Yeah.
Technically, when we started, we were all competitors
Yeah.
because of who we are and where we are. But we didn't allow that to dictate what we were doing. We were still there, very supportive of each other, regardless. Black Week or no Black Week, we were there to support each other. I'm really good friends with Walter Gear.
That's
Really
right.
good friends with Andre. We call on each other. We talk to each other,
Yeah.
for advice because we're doing this thing. I always say that, it's hard to, it's going to be very hard to get to a place where we're not going to be the only one in the room. But what we have to always remember is that we're not alone in this community. So
I
we
love
have to
that.
support each other.
Yeah, that's such a powerful statement because in a lot of places we do talk up, okay, so, make sure you're reaching back and allowing others to
Yeah.
come in. But there are a lot of spaces where for a period of time we do have to be that only one. And it's not for lack of trying, right?
Exactly. Yep.
It's not for lack of pushing and elevating and trying to move things around, but sometimes that's just where it lands. But I love what I'm hearing you say is that didn't let y'all stop each
Exactly.
other and yourselves again from putting on for Black Week.
Yeah.
So how do you feel like Black Week has evolved from year one to year two? What are some of the tough learning lessons that y'all were able to experience and understand, but then evolve for with year two?
Man, I would just say don't launch a conference unless you've done it before.
I mean, wait.
What? Because it is a lot of work and everybody has a day job.
Yeah.
And we took this on, and regardless, it's a lot of hours, it's a lot of arguments, it's
Yeah.
a lot of back and forth. But first year we knew that we had to do something special.
Right.
We did it at Spring Studios because we knew that we wanted to own a footprint where everybody can get to, where people can mingle, where people
Yeah.
can talk to. So we knew what we wanted to do, and we knew what we needed to do,
That's right.
but we didn't know how to get there. But we got there. We got there,
That
and I
is.
think that we did it with a lot of learnings. Though we took, when we did the one thing that we learned from year one to this year is that we cut down on some of the conversations that were happening and spaced them out a little bit more and allowing people the time to network between panels.
Yeah.
This year we had over 150 speakers, but we were able to space it out so that people can attend the conversations, people can have conversations. We created spaces for people to sort of connect.
That's
Because
right.
our goal from the beginning, our goal has been community.
That's right.
So
Yeah.
this year we gave people an opportunity to sort of build on those communities, and again, the conversations got bigger. This year, our audience got bigger. We have, over 1,600 people walk through those hallways.
That's right.
So it was, people, what we're getting now is that we believe that people trust us. Last year had a big impact, but it was year one.
Yeah.
Brands of course, were hesitant. Everybody was hesitant because it's year one. And it's tough to be the new kid on the block when you've got other legacy brands that are out there doing it and they've been doing it, and their conferences are set in stone. So there's always that hesitation. But year two, we felt the community, we felt the sponsorships, we felt everybody starting to come around and believe in us. Year three, of course, we're going to take more learnings and make it even. I don't want to say bigger, but I think that there is a better way. We don't want to grow to the point that it just becomes a monster. What we want to
unattainable.
Do is, what we want to do is again, community is what drives everything.
That's
and
right.
we want to make sure that what we create builds those communities and can support those communities, because we want people to have that feeling that whoever they're talking to is someone that they can build with.
Well, definitely being here year two for me was such a great experience. I actually did feel in the panel that we had where we talked about, is it the end of the open web, and how do you really make sure you're creating space for community and conversation? It felt like there was breadth of time on the panel, which I really did appreciate. Our panel was very spicy. We were able to dialogue and get into discourse. I felt like
and you did a great job.
Thank you.
Of
Of
you get it.
wrangling the-
You got it. You did a great job of writing that ship. Yo,
That's my job as a moderator, as a host. That is our job, to keep the flow and the energy going.
I was there smiling, and I was just like, man, I was like, okay, you kept it right.
We kept it cool. But to that point, I think there was also something that you were saying, even today on the last day, how you made it panel free. And it was really just about people coming to connect with the founders and building that relationship and those relationships. So talk to us a little bit about how that felt for you doing that differently this time. And was there a soundbite that you heard from somebody out there on how they appreciated that moment with you all one-on-one?
I think the one soundbite that stuck with me, and they won. After day one, this young lady came up to me, and she had been sort of laid off because of the sort of the shift in DE&I. And she was one of those those casualties. She lost her job. And what we did this year is we gave 50 passes to any woman that lost their job due to DEI cuts. And she came to me, and she was just like, and she was crying. And she told me that she'd never felt that seen or that safe in any space, or she's never felt that she's ever walked into a room that felt that it was for her. And it was just beautiful because, life happens fast, and things happen to us.
It happens to everybody, but I think the stat is over 300,000 Black women have lost their jobs related to the cuts in what's happening in the atmosphere around DE&I and the weaponization of it. So for y'all to give 150 Black women,
we gave 50.
50, sorry.
Blackweek gave 50. Blackweek gave 50, but then we had other brands came in.
I knew that was a different number.
Other brands came in. Other brands came in and said, "I'll put 50 on it.
That's right.
I'll put 10 on it.
That's how
I'll put 10 on it."
Yeah.
So we have to be thankful for the brands and our sponsors, because beyond the sponsorships, they said, let me put 50 on that.
Yeah.
So we were able, because our list came out to about 400.
Okay.
And we were able to, ultimately get about 150 in there. But it was beautiful because, again, that community, it came together.
It's so important. Okay, so let's take a little bit of a pivot and think about Blackweek and beyond. So talk to us a little bit about subculture. I want our audience and our listeners to understand what y'all are doing there, what the opportunity is. I'm a fan for emerging tech and all things social, and especially if we're leading the charge there, because we know our communities live and breathe everything social and are really moving the culture there. So talk to us about that.
Well, subcultures, it's our own social platform, and it's meant for creators. It's
Okay.
meant for you to go in there, write your article, upload your film, and share it with the community. You know, we so much what we do in these other platforms is that we give away our sauce.
Yeah,
We
always.
give away what
We do.
we give away what makes us valuable.
Mm-hmm.
And that's, the way we've, even the way we've grown up, the way, even, just living in New York makes you a different, makes your culture a little bit
That's
different.
right. Yeah.
But we have all these stories to tell. We have all these insights. We have all this content that we share with the world, and then the world takes that from us.
Mm-hmm.
So what we wanted to do was create a platform where you can have that. Right now it's free. Everybody can jump on there,
Okay.
subculture.co,
Come on,
get on there.
subculture.co. Y'all
You know,
creators out there,
I
come
wrote,
on there and
I,
create.
I published my first article in there on sort of the emergence of AI and creativity.
Okay.
But of course, you'll be able to read it there. But I think that what we wanted to do, we're going to get to a point where you can monetize your content
Okay.
and you can charge and your subscriptions, everything. But right now, we want everybody to come in.
Yeah.
What we want to do is create an environment where we can share with each other, and if others want that, then they're going to have to pay for it, because at the end of the day, we're I don't want to say gatekeeping our culture, but we need to protect our culture.
There has to be some governance around culture to the point you made. We give our sauce away sometimes unintentionally.
Yeah.
Sometimes we need to, right? There is survival mechanisms that come with being a creator and making sure your content can be everywhere people are. But it is nice to see and have a place where things will be yours for just a little bit. So I love that you all were
Yeah.
thinking about that.
Because we've got all our talks from last year are on there,
Okay.
so people can see that all our talks are going to be on there.
For
So
this
we're
year.
we're definitely feeding it with content,
That's right.
and all the founders are writing, all the founders are putting things in there, because we want, again, we want to have a platform and a space that we can tell our stories and share them with one another. But then also at the same time, I understand, I get it that, right now we live in a world of likes. To your point, we live in a world of sort of like, what you put out there, you're only worth as much as your followers.
Yeah.
And it's going to be tough to have to make that shift.
Right.
But it's, we're not asking people to go cold turkey. We're asking them to take a step, to explore and take a step and start taking more steps towards that, because we have to sort of police ourselves, and we have to really try to put ourselves in a position where we see our worth. Sometimes it's going to be a little bit uncomfortable. Sometimes you're going to have to take, a couple of steps back to move a step forward.
That's right. I mean, and you are not scared of being uncomfortable, right? That big Aries energy, like I was talking about. So I think it's a good call to action for our listeners, even for me. Take that step, take that leap, build that profile out,
Exactly.
and really start getting that content on.
And start getting it on. We know that we're asking a lot of individuals, but
It's too much.
it's just everybody's obsessed with their social profile and their impact, and we're never going to be able to move away from those likes. But what we should do is start thinking about the value behind those likes.
Yeah, I think that's real. Um, so before we get into some fast and quick questions for you, didn't you have a family member play a pivotal role in Blackweek this year? Am I shouting your daughter out for something that she did? Did I see a LinkedIn post? You were so proud of her.
Well, my daughter just graduated from Parsons,
Okay,
and she wants to be a director. She wants to be a writer.
that's right.
And I, I want her to start understanding that you have to network and you have to be out there. If I could tell my younger self anything, I would tell my younger self, to talk to others, build a team, build a community. You're not alone. You can't do it alone. You're not going to grow alone. You hit that roof really quick when you're doing it by yourself.
That's right.
So I introduced her to the founders. She came out, and so she's out there networking. She's talking to more people. Next year she's going to be probably working for Blackweek, because I want her to sort of express herself with her creativity.
Yeah.
And she does a really good job with it. But I also want her to understand that she's not alone. She doesn't have to do everything alone. You get out of school and you feel like you've got the weight of the world on you. And then even us, we put our heads down because we feel that, okay, if I don't do this, no one else will.
Right.
But, there's 10 other people that are saying, if I don't do this, no one else will.
So bring those 10 people together.
Exactly.
That's right. She might even find herself doing something else,
Yep.
following in your footsteps again, and bringing seven people together to start a thing, or 10, like you said. We
Yeah.
love to see it. I love that you are building your legacy, not just from practical, like creative standpoint, but also teaching her to do the things that you didn't do. And that's pretty amazing.
You have to. I mean, I have three daughters, and I have,
Oh, your
and
house is a mess.
yeah, and they're, and it's three Afro Latina daughters. So, it's like a wig factory in there,
I mean, I
but
need to come on over and
but
have a
it's
look.
but they're incredible. But I want to make sure that, that I work hard at creating a world where they have a
Yeah,
chance.
that's right.
Because, for a long time, when you know this better than anything, women of color, it's hard, and you get an automatic no and an automatic closed door so many
Right.
times.
Yeah,
You know that way better than anybody. So I want to make sure that my daughters have an opportunity to be out here and do the things that they want to do,
that's right.
but it's based on their ability.
Yeah, no, they will. With the pops like you, I know they will. Okay, so we want to know your hot drops. Our listeners want to be tapped into what you're thinking about. A brilliant creative mind like yourself. First question: which creators or influencers are hot on your radar? I know we just got through talking about the likes and the follows and all the things,
Yeah.
but who are you
I think,
checking out right now?
I tend to lean towards creators that are very genuine in what they do, and they bring in culture, history together,
Yeah.
and they're able to express themselves. I think one of my favorite creators is someone that I've worked with, Lemon Anderson. He's a poet, Puerto Rican from
Okay.
Brooklyn, and his ability to write and make it relevant to what's today, what's culture,
Yeah.
but also bring history to it and mix it. And it's just it's beautiful writing. And he does a lot of work with the NFL. He does a lot of
Okay.
work. So he does a lot of brand work,
Yeah.
but he does it in a way that feels organic. He does it in a way that's beautiful, and that the stories that are told are so genuine.
Okay.
So even when he does it for a brand, you kind of feel it. And
Lemon Anderson.
yeah,
I
Lemon
gotta check him out.
Anderson.
Okay.
Yeah, and then I'm always gonna say Dapper Dan, because
I mean,
just
shout
come on.
out. Shout out.
Like it's
Icon.
Dapper Dan icon, and he's
What
still an
he
icon
said.
today.
It's literally still
Yeah.
fly as ever
Yep.
on his P's and Q's. We love to
Exactly.
see it. Okay, cool. What's one brand you can't live without?
I think the one brand that I probably can't live without would have to be Nike.
I mean,
I mean,
shout out.
it's
to
just,
Nike.
but it's also, of course, it's the shoes,
Yeah.
but it's also the stories they tell. It's also the authenticity that they come in with, all the work that they do.
Yeah.
It's a brand that I admire.
Okay. We like it. What brands are on your radar when it comes to inclusive strategies? Who are you checking for? Who needs a little bit of help and support?
I mean, I think one of the brands that I look up to, as a matter of fact, I think it was Fenty. I think I look at that,
We love
and
okay.
yeah, I think that as a brand, I don't think it gets better as far as
Mm-hmm.
marketing. And you think of something like Beats by Dre.
Oh
It's
yeah.
another brand that
Yeah.
just it doesn't get better, and they don't do it in a way that they're trying to sort of tell our story.
No,
No,
yeah.
they tell authentic stories that happen to relate to us, because they're so they connect. One connects through product and the other connects through feeling, and it's just like you get it, you get it, you get it.
Totally get it. And I mean, they're not overselling either. It's so natural. It's so real. They're both.
Exactly.
Rihanna is an icon in and of herself. She kind of just lives her life too, and she's very like this.
I mean, that's my favorite couple.
Yeah.
Rihanna and ASAP. Because ASAP also, like, I always think, in my head, Dapper Dan's handing the baton off to ASAP, because
I
it's
mean,
like,
he's definitely coming up.
he's
for
coming
sure.
up. He is
Yeah.
the style icon of today.
Okay. I mean, y'all heard it from Adan. ASAP is a style icon of today. What are brands that are diverse owned, Black owned, Latina owned, runs the gamut? Do we need to know about that our audiences just don't know about?
So Bun B, believe it or not,
Okay.
Houston rapper UGK as Trill Burger.
I mean,
And it's amazing. The food's amazing, but all the work that he's put into it,
okay.
and the way he's hustling that brand and showing up everywhere. He partners a lot with LL Cool J and Rock the Bells.
Okay.
And Rock the Bells is also a great
Very epic
brand.
and iconic. Yeah.
But he's just to see someone that to just see them reinvent themselves and create something so iconic, and create something that's so impactful, still true to him. It's impressive, and I think everybody should go get some Trill burgers.
I mean, trail workers all around. I wonder, do they have vegan options? Do you know?
They do.
Okay, all
Yep.
right, then I
Yep.
might have to
They
check
do.
them out. Okay. Last question for you. It's a little bit of a pivot. Is there, I love where you went with, if I could tell my younger self something, this is what I would tell them. I want to hear one more piece of advice from you for our listeners, Wednesday's Child listeners, because you are, again, a dope creator, a dope creative. You have so many amazing ideas. What's one thing you want our listeners to know?
Think that regardless of what you do for a living, whether you're a creative, whether you're a strategist, whether you're a plumber, it doesn't matter. I think that what you have to be true is true to yourself, because that's what's going to bring that next opportunity. When you're, for me as a creative, I always think I have the last. I always think my last idea was my greatest idea. It's a rap, and I'm
You're
like,
like bought into yourself.
yeah, and I'm
Like you
like,
just,
yo, I'm done. But then something else inspires me. So I think that for me, I think that you always have to be open to inspiration or from everything around you. For
yeah,
me, it's art. For me, it's visual. For me, it's music.
yeah,
But for other people, it could be other things. It
absolutely.
doesn't matter. I think you never stop learning, but always, always, always continue to be inspired by the things around you. Once you get bored, then it's a wrap for you.
I love that, Adan. Your wisdom and your gems are just so important. And thank you so much for that. Never stop being inspired by the world around you. I appreciate you for being here. I appreciate you for
You.
blessing the listeners with your wisdom and again, in your insight. And here's to more Black Week. Here's to more you. And to our listeners, thank you so much for tuning in always. I'm your host, Danisha Lomax, and we'll check you on the next episode of Wednesday's Child.
Peace, y'all.